In a single second, everything stops. The TV dies. The lights go black. The fans fall silent. Outside your window, for the first time in living memory, New York City goes completely, totally dark. It was July 13th, 1977. And what happened next, over the following 25 hours, would shock the world, expose the hidden fault lines of an entire nation. This is the true story of the New York City blackout. And trust me, you have never heard it told like this. To understand what happened that night, you have to understand what New York City was in the summer of 1977. It was not the clean, polished city you might visit today. It was raw, it was loud, it was struggling. The city was nearly bankrupt. Unemployment was climbing. Entire neighborhoods in the Bronx had been abandoned. But here's the thing. People were still living, still laughing, still gathering around the television every single night. Because in 1977, the TV was not just entertainment. It was the heartbeat of the American home. There was no internet, no smartphones, no streaming. You had 3 channels, ABC, NBC, and CBS. And when the evening news came on, the whole country sat down together and watched the same thing at the same time. But underneath that familiar comfort, the city was sitting on a powder keg. The summer of 1977 was the hottest in years. Temperatures had been pushing above 90 degrees for weeks, and on the evening of July 13th, the electrical grid was already stretched to its absolute limit. All it needed was one spark. At 8:37 p.m., lightning struck a transmission line in Westchester County, then another, then another. One by one, the backup systems failed, each one tripping the next like dominoes falling in slow motion. By 9:34 p.m., the lights were gone. Within minutes of the lights going out, something shifted in the streets of New York City. It started small, a broken window here, a shout from a dark alley there. But within the first hour, it had spread across every borough like a wave nobody could stop. By midnight, over 1,600 stores had been looted. By morning, more than 1,700 across 31 neighborhoods. In 25 hours, there were 3,776 arrests, the most arrests in New York City history in one day. But here's what the news cameras missed. In Queens, neighbors who had never spoken a single word to each other spent the entire night sharing food and watching the stars together. In Brooklyn, a restaurant owner opened his kitchen and fed his entire block for free. In Harlem, an elderly woman named Mrs. Thelma Carter told a reporter the next morning that the blackout was the first night in years she hadn't felt lonely. One darkness, 2 cities, living side by side in the same 25 hours. The city would spend the next decade arguing about what the blackout truly meant. They were all right, and they were all wrong. At 10:39 p.m. on July 14th, exactly 25 hours and 5 minutes after the grid failed, the power came back. People poured into the streets. Some cheered, some wept. Some just stood at their windows and stared at the light like they were seeing it for the first time. We like to think that modern life has made us stronger, more connected, more prepared. And yet, ask yourself this. If the power went out tonight, right now, as you're watching this, what would happen on your street? Would your neighbors come outside? Would anyone share their food? Would you know the name of the family 3 doors down? The 1977 blackout didn't just cut the power to New York City. It cut through every comfortable story the city told about itself. And what it found underneath, both the darkness and the light, was the most human thing imaginable. Some memories don't fade just because the lights come back on. Now, I want to hear from you. Where were you in the summer of 1977? Do you remember a moment when the ordinary world went quiet and you saw your neighbors differently for the first time? Tell us your story in the comments below. And if you believe the stories nobody talks about anymore are the ones worth remembering most, then Timevault is exactly where you belong. Hit subscribe. We go deep into the moments history forgot every single week. Until next time, keep the vault open.
Some memories don't fade just because the lights come back on.